Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the library. Today, your teacher has asked me to give you guys a brief lesson about copyright. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've heard that word before. In fact, if anybody regularly watches YouTube videos, I know a lot of times you might hear about videos being taken down for copyright violation. So that means that whoever put the video up may have used something that they didn't have permission to use. And today we're going to learn exactly what copyright is, what does it allow people to do, what can you do with it, how can you use it appropriately, and why it exists. So we're going to start with a good definition. What exactly is copyright? What is copyright? Copyright protects the things that people make. If you made a video, then copyright law means that anybody else who wanted to use or share that video must have your permission. Basically, if somebody produces a thing, then they own that thing, and anybody else must pay to use it or give them credit for it. Most things on the internet are copyrighted. It's not a free-for-all. Here are some of the things that copyright protects. Literature, like stories, plays, music, art, poetry, movies, songs, software, and architecture. So software is things that are made for computers. Architecture is building design. Oh no, all those cat memes I've shared. Am I a pirate? Are the internet police going to come snatch me out of my math class? That might be something similar to what you guys are thinking right now. But don't worry, I'm going to let you know what's going on with copyright. So, is everything protected? Well, not quite. Here are a list of some things that are not covered by copyright law. Things that are still inside someone's head, like ideas or concepts, or plans for things that you haven't written down or put anywhere else. You cannot copyright titles of books or chapters or movies or short stories or anything else. Short phrases and slogans can't be copyrighted, although they can be trademarked, which is different. It has more to do with corporations and marketing and creating a brand for a company. So other things that aren't covered by copyright are things that are not fixed in a tangible form, which means they're not put down on paper or recorded anywhere, like an improvised dance or a speech. Improvised means they did it spur of the moment, that it wasn't planned and it wasn't done for any purpose. Like it wasn't for a TV show or anything. It was just a spontaneous act that happened without anyone's planning. Anything that is made up completely of unoriginal content, like a compilation of TikTok videos or something, that is, you're not creating anything original there, so that cannot be copyrighted. Basically, you can't copyright the idea, just how you express that idea, if that makes any more sense. So, what exactly does copyright do? Copyright law, in its simplest form, gives creators the right to stop other people from using their creations. So, how do you know if something can be copyrighted? Well, there's two things you have to look at. Is it original? Which means, did you come up with it all by yourself and not copy it from someone else? Is it something that you created? Copyright protects original works of authorship that are fixed in tangible forms of expression. And you might be thinking, huh? Because that is a really complicated way to say that anything that someone creates that is in a format that is real, not just an idea or a thought. It might even require a device like a computer or a television to view it or hear it, but it is still an actual thing. So those things copyright law covers and protects, those actual real things. Has it been fixed? Copyright protections start as soon as something is fixed. And you might be thinking, well, was it broken? How can something be fixed? Nope. That just means that as soon as something is written down or recorded, then it's protected. A photograph is protected whether it's on an SD card or if it's printed out and displayed in a gallery. A story is protected from the moment it's written on paper or typed on a screen, not just when it's published. So next, what can you do with it? Well, imagine that you are the creator or the owner of a copyright. Here's what you can do. It allows you to make copies of your own work. You can distribute copies of your work. You can present your work to other people, like at a play or at a concert. You can show your work to other people, like in an art gallery or on television. And you can release new versions of your work, like if you created a television show, you could then adapt that show to a graphic novel. And that's what you're allowed to do with copyright law protection. So does that protection last forever? And once something is copyrighted, we might wonder, well, does that last forever? Or how long does it last? Well, currently right now, the law says that copyright lasts the lifetime of the creator plus 70 years. So if you created something right now and you're 14 years old, and then you die when you're 114 years old, that means that your copyright will last the 100 years of your remaining life plus another 70 years after that. Public domain. This is what happens after that 70 years past your death is gone. Public domain is when the copyright has either expired or maybe the author chose originally to make it public and not have it covered by copyright law, or it's a kind of expression that's not even covered by copyright law in the first place. Those things that are those situations that I just described are what they call in the public domain. That means that no one owns it. So we wouldn't have to get permission to use anything that is in the public domain. For example, the song Happy Birthday is in the public domain. So that means anyone on any TV show or movie or in any video can sing the song Happy Birthday without having to get permission or even give credit to anyone. So, how can I use it? Things that are copyrighted can still be used, but there are a set of guidelines that we have to follow called fair use. So what is that? What is fair use? It means that there are certain ways that you can use copyrighted material without having to get permission from the creator. And there are 4 factors that we have to look at. The purpose. What reason are you using the thing? The nature of the thing that you're using. Basically, what is the thing that you're using? How much of it are you using? And what is the effect of you using it going to be? So let's look a little bit closely at these. What are you using it for? Some of the allowable purposes to use copyrighted materials are for education or to create a parody or a satire. You would have to make the work different by making fun of it for parody or satire, kind of like a Weird Al song, or you must be using it for education. What kind of work are you using? Is it facts, like nonfiction, and has it been published? This one's a little bit difficult, but it has to do with being able to prove that you are using it to spread information, like in the case of education. And it has to do with whether or not the creator wanted it to be seen. Using an educational website that has factual information is more likely to be fair use than publishing tweets by someone's personal letters to their boyfriend. The other really important thing is how much of it are you using, and the less the better when it comes to copyright law. Using only a small portion of the work is more likely to be considered fair use. Using a very tiny portion of a movie as an educational aid is okay, but not the entire movie, unless you have permission to do that. The rule might be a bite of a slice of pizza, but definitely not the whole pizza. The last thing that we have to look at for fair use is the effect that it might have. Can it cause the creator to lose money? So you would have to ask, does your use of that creator's product mean that fewer people will then purchase their work? Even a small portion of a work might affect the ability of the creator to earn a living or a profit from their product. You might post even only a 23-second long video from Avengers Endgame that spoils the ending. And if that happened, then maybe people wouldn't pay to go see the movie, since now they already know how it ends. So consequently, you've affected how that creator can make money from their own creation. So, one of the other things we really need to worry about is giving credit to the creators. Just because something is fair use doesn't mean that you don't have to give credit. Whenever you're using someone else's product or creation, you have to give credit to them, even if it falls under fair use guidelines. You must credit the original creator. It's not your creation, and passing it off or letting people believe that it is not only copyright infringement, but it's plagiarism. And I know you guys have heard that word before too. We talk about that a lot, and you probably have heard it in your English classes about making sure that you're using your own words or crediting sources whenever you're using someone else's words or ideas. Plagiarism can actually even get you kicked out of college at some point, so that's something really, really important. It's why we talk about it a lot. So one of the most important things we need to think about is, why do we even have copyright law anyway? So to sum things up, would you want to create things if you knew that anyone could use your creations and do whatever they wanted with them without your permission? Probably not. Copyright protection makes people want to create things. Without it, there would be very little reason for awesome people to produce amazing things. It enables people to make a living from their hard work and their creativity. So, how do we get around copyright law? Basically, use free stuff. Hey, Miss Zambrana, where did you get all the awesome pictures in this presentation? I'm so glad you asked. I used a royalty-free, copyright-free photo sharing site called Pixabay, and that means that people take pictures and put them on Pixabay and allow other users to use them without having to get permission or to operate under fair use rules and guidelines. They are copyright-free. There are a lot of other great free resources out there on the internet. You can search for free graphics, free photographs, free music, and even free video clips for things that you might need. The quality in the selection might not be the best, but unless you're willing to pay for it, it's totally worth it to be in compliance with copyright law. And then you're not stealing from anyone. Yay, positives all around. So, going forward, mostly what you need to do is be aware. Now that you know about copyright, it is your responsibility to use your best judgment and seek out the right way to do things. Everything on the internet was created by someone, and educational use doesn't automatically mean that it's okay to use everything. Just because we're using it in school doesn't guarantee that that falls under fair use. So, make sure you're doing your due diligence. And now we're going to put all of this information to use, because I have designed a digital escape room that you guys are going to team up with 2 other people in your class and work together using this information that we all just learned about copyright to win prizes. I hope you guys are as excited about it as I am.